the queen of Djuma. I think it's a title that she's very much earned. I think it's a title that's come from Safari Live and the viewers there. There she is. Here we go. Okay, so for sensitive viewers, this Impala lamb is not alive. Sorry. James is trying to get hold of me. Oh, look at this little thing. Sorry, everybody. Just give me 1 second and then we can talk about it. Oh, there we go. Brent's got it. So she's obviously got a kill. Sorry, Lana. Let me get into the Queen of Djuma in a moment. I just want to talk a little bit about the fact that we've got a leopard cub with a kill first. And the fact that once again, Queen Karula has provided for her cubs. Now, it's very unlikely that Xongile caught the baby impala herself. However, what we've seen more and more with Karula is that she allows the cubs to possibly even, as we saw with Hassan and the baby Nyala, possibly even conduct the kill themselves. So after she's caught the animal, she lets them kill it, or she lets them have the first opportunity to, first of all, to play with their food, and then to open up the carcass, which is all very, very important for their future well-being. And that, of course, is half of the reason that she is called Queen Karula. So, Lana, back to your question. She is the main female of Djuma. She's actually had one of the biggest female leopard territories in this area on record. Ah, you don't want your impala. Hello, gorgeous girl. Actually, I do know when I last saw Karula. I saw her on foot 2 days ago. But it's not quite the same as being in the vehicle and having a chance to be up close to them. I actually saw Xongile and Karula from the vehicle. So yes, Karula is the queen for many reasons. One is that her territory was the center of Djuma. What you seen? What have you seen, little girl? Something hidden there. Oh, it's a tortoise. It's a tortoise. Hold on. She's got a tortoise. You okay there, Jandre? Here we go. Does your curiosity know no bounds, little one? And like all baby cats, she has found herself the challenge of a tortoise, but completely unlike a lion, she doesn't have the jaw strength to actually break the shell. But it's very common to see them. Oh, we're done now. Is it not that interesting? Is it a living tortoise, or is it one very terrified living tortoise, or is it a dead, just an empty shell? It looks very much to me like one terrified living tortoise. She's gone back to the kill again. Oh, it's quite sad seeing these little impala lambs, but we know that this is all part of the... Oh, look at her playing. It is all part of nature, and this playing that she's going to do now is very important. Bravo! That was impressive. How amazing was that? Oh. After all of that. Oh, Xongile, almost. See how capable these little cats are? She just hoisted it. Oh, oops. It was a good try, Xongile. It was a very good try. Practice makes perfect. You can't be as slick as your mom straight away. You gotta have a few experimental tries and a few fall downs. Now, the cub that you're looking at is 10 months old and already exhibiting the instincts that should be necessary to keep her alive. She's gonna try again. She's gonna try again. Oh, maybe not. Actually, that last jump was a little bit of a hefty one. Oh, we owe a big thank you to our walking team this afternoon. This is amazing. There's that bright-eyed look of Xongile when she starts to play with her kill. We've also seen it with Hasana. And although it is hard to watch, at least the impala isn't suffering, and it does mean that she can practice biting where the joints are, where the weak parts of the impala are. All of those are going to be crucial for her in the future. Okay, I'm just going to reposition just to shuffle around. Oh wait, hold on. She's up again. Now, Chitty Bang Bang, he wants to know if Xongile still has 2 sets of canines. Now, the last time I saw her, she gave us a big yawn, and I was able to just notice that she still had her milk teeth, plus her permanent teeth growing through. So she had 2 canines on her top jaw. 2 sets of canines on her top jaw. I'm going to hazard a guess and say no. I think there's a jolly good chance that milk tooth is now out or has fallen out, but we'll try and get you a good view for that in a moment. Doing the leopard waddle. The leopard drag waddle. It would be very ambitious if you thought you were going to put it up that jackalberry, Xongile. Although I am seriously impressed with your display of strength and almost skill. Let's call it strength. I'm not quite sure that skill is the way forward. Standing by, James. Negative, James. I don't. Hold on one moment. Sorry, everybody. I'm just going to take my earpiece out. James is trying to make his way in. Brent is helping him out. Just shush, Brent. Hold on. Shush. Shush. Oh, affection between Mom and Xongile. James, I've got your audio now as well. Sorry, everybody. I was just trying to get a word in edgeways there. Shame, Brent is very, very kindly helping us out. AFM, if you want to switch off now, I'm about to reposition. You'll get my audio. Okay, let's reposition, go around. Xongile is tired of her kill. Gonk. Xongile is tired of the... No, she's back again. She's come back. Oh dear. Xongile, you're really keeping us guessing. Oh, they have got a baby impala here. Bouncing us all over the show, girl. She's bouncing between Mom... Oh, catch that tail. What's that? And now back to the impala carcass again. Who's there? Is that James coming to visit you? Yes. Where's your brother, madam? Your brother's being very naughty. Off on his own like this. And I'm sure, I have no doubt that he knows where Mom is, and he's just gone on his own little mission. What you're seeing she's going to be practicing is the grab of the neck and the bite around the nose. And those are the 2 techniques that leopards will favor when they're trying to hunt and kill something. So this really is invaluable practice. Even on a hot day like today, you can see she's panting, she's hot and tired, but it's too good an opportunity to miss. Sorry, I'm just going to take my foot off the brake. I got so excited, I slammed my foot on it and didn't take it off. Oh. Tackling it. And just by the way, for those of you that are wondering, for our viewers familiar with everything that's going on with our lives, James is guiding some special Nat.Geo guests. How was that for a little ninja move? So that's why he is not on drive on the live safaris, but he is on game drive. A beautiful curl of that tail. Okay, we're done now. James said, was it this morning or was it no, it must have been yesterday. Let's see if we can see that canine. She's definitely got her permanent bottom canines. No. Oh, leopards are the ultimate ninjas. There we go. Taking it round to that side of the termite mound. You see your canines? You can see the two bottom ones are fully grown, or at least permanent. Can't see the top ones. Look how she's panting in the heat. It's been quite an exhausting afternoon for her. I wonder when Mom caught this. Probably not too long ago. Oh, sorry, I remember what I was about to say. James, a couple of days ago, was saying that she looks like Shadow. I disagree. I think she looks... Well, I don't strongly disagree. I think he's right, but I think that she looks more like Thandi, which is her other aunt. And Thandi is Shadow's sister. So Shadow and Thandi are Karula's oldest daughters. I love that little face. So special. Those massive feet, nearly the size of her mom's now. I wonder if she's going to be bigger or smaller than Mom. Fly. This is behavior that many of you that have domestic cats will recognize. When they've caught things like a mouse or perhaps a bird, and they get this dilated pupil look, and they start to play with their food, and they act completely crazy, like a little silly 5 minutes or silly 10 minutes where they play around with it. It's very, very similar to what leopards do. Right. Now, Xongile, if I go all the way around the termite mound, are you going to come back onto this side? Yes, probably. Just because. Pretty girl. Okay. What do you think, Chandra? Should we risk it? Go on to the other side. She could pop down here any second now.
Why not?
She's completely lost that baby look that she had. There's no more of the fluffiness, that cub-like face. Now she looks like a little miniature leopard. And not even that little. Hosanna's nearly the height of Mom. In fact, he's actually quite... At first glance, it can actually be quite difficult to tell the difference between Karula and Hosanna from behind or from a distance. Hosanna's feet are bigger than Karula's now. And a very good afternoon to you, Lucy. While we look at our 10-month-old cub, you want to know how long it will be before the cubs become independent from Karula. It's slightly earlier with the females. Xongile has probably got another 6 to 8 months with Mom, probably about 8 months. So they reach about 1.5 years, and then they move away from Mom and they start becoming more independent. The males take a little bit longer and are often still living around their mothers and sometimes even still sharing kills with her, even once they've reached 2 or so years old. It is so adorable and yet so macabre at the same time. Oh, look at your belly. She is having fun. It's a lot of practice as well, but she is having fun too. We've been so spoilt with the royal family recently. I'm just hoping that before the end of this sunset safari that Hosanna might decide to come and rejoin them. That's what I would like to see before it gets too dark and we have to leave. I'm hoping that Karula might go, and she might even go and fetch him, if we're lucky, and bring him back. It would be lovely to see the royal family reunited once again. So for our new viewers, Hosanna is Xongile's brother, so the twin brother of this leopard cub that you're looking at now. They were born from the same litters, in the same litter. Okay. I'm a ninja. She's seriously practicing her skills in coordination. And there is nothing quite so agile as a leopard here. In terms of our big predators, leopards are truly graceful. Marianne, the age-old question, is it not? You want to know if the neck biting is instinctive or if it's learned from their mum. It's instinctive. She would know to do that regardless of whether or not mom had taught her. Mom hasn't necessarily taught her. Mom hasn't actually, all that often, mom hasn't actually hunted in front of them. So I would say it's almost pure instinct. And practicing grabbing on to the impala carcasses that moms let her play with, or Nyala, or Duiker carcasses, whatever it happens to be. You're going to go and bug mom now. Tired. No, I can see in your expression you're not going to go to sleep. I can see it. Yeah. You're hot, and you want to, and you should, but you're not going to. You are like an overly hyped up child. Told you. Oh, it's kicking. Careful. It's not kicking, by the way. It is, as I said, it is dead. So it's not suffering, it's not feeling any pain. It was probably over very quickly for it. It's amazing watching what is what is instinctive and what is not with the big cats. And for the most part, leopard hunting is almost pure instinct. And the reason that we can say that with such, I feel as though we can say that with such comfort, is I think Xongile is a very, very good example. I don't think that Shadow spent much time teaching him how to hunt, and he was then put in quarantine for 8 months, where he was quarantined. He was fed, so he didn't have to hunt for himself. And when he got back and was released back into the Sabi Sand 8 months later, he was fully capable of catching and providing for himself. I think that speaks volumes about the nature of a leopard's hunting instinct. It is a very, very powerful force indeed. It is their motivating, driving factor. And cubs are already showing that instinct from when they're cubs, playing with mom's tail. Welcome to Cheetah. You wanted to know if leopards are solitary hunters. Yes, they are. There are a few recorded cases, or not cases, but a few recorded examples. Oi! You thought she was going up, Chandra. She's playing tricks on you. There are a few recorded cases of males and females seeming to cooperate to hunt, particularly when they're mating, or perhaps mother and almost adult offspring, but for the most part they are solitary creatures. They're solitary by nature, they're solitary hunters. I just have this feeling if I go all the way around there, she's going to come back around here and bounce back into the side of the termite mound. I do hope many of you got the screenshot, so I have to... oh, is she see? Are we doing a lovely dance this afternoon? Alright, while we decide which position we want to take on the termite mound, I think we should go quickly across to Brent, because of course we do have a massive thank you to say to him. So we'll be back with you shortly, but for now, over to Brent, you pop.
Male and Nyala to bid us farewell as we cross quarantine on our way towards home. Beautiful big male, he's keeping a close eye on us. Oh, he's decided we are not a threat. He's going to continue his very proud stride. I do love the orange socks on Nyala. They do look a little ridiculous. But it's been absolutely wonderful. The killer bees have enjoyed having you on the walk with us. We've seen some grasshoppers. We've seen a flower or two. We found an egg. And you know what? Where's my egg gone now? The lucky beans must have done the trick. So it's been wonderful having you on foot. And remember, we do have a fireside chat this evening. So Brian and I are going to go set that up. So we'll be seeing you again before the end of show. But we're going to slowly amble home, and we'll see you again tomorrow morning. Actually, I won't see you. Brian will be with you tomorrow morning. I won't, but I'll see you the day after for the next safari. So let's go see what Byron's been doing in the bush.
So we are still out here, everyone. We've just had absolutely no luck at finding anything. I've been looking and driving everywhere, and we've found nothing. I don't know if it's the heat, the weather, or what it is, but we've been looking all over and just nothing is popping out. We've checked just about every water hole, every dam, and still no luck. But as I always say, it's too soon to panic. You know, Jamie's had incredible sighting with Karula and those cubs. I'm so happy. That really is special and fantastic to see. I'm glad they're so active now. But, and again, you know, that's all a learning curve for those little cubs. But anyway, we are still in search of anything. And I'm almost back at Treehouse Dam. Gonna head back into that area and just have a look around there and see if anything's come down, or if we've had movement from any animals around there. But it is very quiet this afternoon for some reason. But there's still a lot of bird life around, and there's lots of insects calling. I can hear cicada in the distance. You can actually hear one off to the left. Little cicada. There's a Coqui Franklin calling in the distance. Oh, and a Duiker. See, just as I say, there's not much going on. We find a little antelope. And we stop to talk about a cicada, and then these tiny antelope pop out. So there is still activity out here. That Coqui Franklin calling in the distance. I wonder if we'll be able to find one. It's a terrible Coqui Franklin call. It's a very strange sound. I don't think I can do that. Alright, let's see what else we can find. While I do that, let's head back to Jamie and those beautiful leopards.
What a truly magical sighting this has been with the royal family. At the moment, their tails almost intertwined, and of course Xongile has now decided to plonk herself down on the other side of the termite mound, or not quite on the other side of the termite mound. She's so distracted and so hyped up, but she's also boiling, and it's getting hotter and hotter and more humid this evening. I think the storm is on its way. So I think that finally, despite her excitement, her body's forced her to stop and just have a bit of a break and to cool down. It's so easy to imagine Karula. I mean, now I'm really anthropomorphizing, so I'm going to preface this by saying I'm really anthropomorphizing this. But it's so easy to imagine Karula saying, Xongile, would you calm down and just stop playing with your dinner? And Xongile saying, I'm not Xongile, I'm the shadow, Dark Shadow, the slayer of Impala. The amount of fun that she has been having. Hey, Karula. Karula's just sitting there. She's seen this all before. Right. Okay. Xongile, if I reposition, are you going to go onto the other side of the termite mound? Yes, probably, but let's do it anyway. Let's do it anyway. Sorry, I'm stuck. There we go. How wonderful has the sighting been? But the trees that we do drive over will spring right back up. Hello, big girl. There we go. That is the perfect view of the royal family, or at least 2 of the 3 members of the royal family. Well done, Karula. Clever girl. You can see her canines starting to yellow, starting to age a little bit. She is turning 13 in a couple of months. But I think that age has just given her even more in terms of experience and ability with her cubs. And we're not just saying that because we love her, because we do, of course, but it's actually because it's borne out. The evidence is right here in front of us. Xongile is nearly at that 12-month stage where a leopard's survival rate very rapidly increases, especially for a female. Once she hits sexual maturity, she's going to be, in terms of the biggest threats, she's going to be out of the woods. James is pulling faces at me. Michael, you wanted to know what part of her territory Karula might give Xongile. It's impossible for us to predict, and it's always a little bit more complex in practice. You might find that Xongile moves, she could actually even move away from her mom totally, although she probably won't. She could move up into the northern section of her territory. It's impossible for us to tell. My guess would be that Xongile, because we don't know exactly how that process works and how much of a role the daughters actually play in the choice as well. It might be that Xongile might decide to stay in an area that's very familiar to her, which would be south of the Gowrie Main and around Treehouse Dam. That's one of the areas that we found Xongile in the most. Or it might be that she goes up further to the north into Buffelshoek, because with the death of Shaluva, there will be a little bit, well, I actually don't think the vacuum's going to last for too long. Do not catch a spider hunting wasp, little girl. That will be a mistake that you will not ever repeat. They sting hard. Look at her, she's so funny. She's so hot, and she's so tired. But she wants to just go back and carry on playing with her impala. To me, she looks more like Tundi than she looks like Karula, actually. What you seen? What have you seen? Oh no. It's on the other side of the termite mound. Don't disappear, Xongile. Oh, Karula. Karula is one of the leopards where, when I was first told that she had a wow, or the word wow on her forehead, I wasn't fully convinced. I thought it would have to take a little bit of a stretch of the imagination to see it. But when she looks straight at us like that, it really, I don't know, I can see the word wow very clearly between her eyes. Hosana looks a bit more like Mom than Xongile does. Although since Xongile's eyes have gone a bit bluer, perhaps a bit more so. What have you seen? What's there, girl? She's looking at something. Oh, it's the impala. She's seen an impala. How's that intent gaze? From restful to fiercely concentrated. And the impala is aware. Unfortunately, I can't, if I reposition now, I'm going to make life very difficult. But to describe it to you, the impala is about 150 meters directly behind me. So she's looking just past the car at the impala. And the impala is aware of something, but I think it's actually more that it's aware of us. So it's just seeing what we're doing, but it hasn't actually seen the leopard. So I don't think this is the female that was looking for its baby earlier. I think it's a herd that stumbled through. It could be, though. It could be that female looking for its baby. She might have moved. It often happens that way. They trying desperately to search for their offspring in the hope that they're alive still, and they get caught. It does happen. You can just see the wheels turning in Karula's head. The impala's moving off. Is she thinking about whether or not it's worth trying to hunt them? Or would she really rather just not be bothered? Are they just too far away? Leopards are opportunists, so if they were closer, if an impala herd stumbled through here in close enough proximity to her, she would go for it. She absolutely would. You've seen Tandi with 3 impala kills. Now, Jen B wanted to know if perhaps Karula, in the spirit of Christmas, caught a lamb for each of them, and perhaps Osana is with his. Maybe. I can't discount it as a possibility, but I doubt it. You don't really see cubs being given separate kills and then feeding on their own. At least we've never seen it, especially not with this particular family. What's always happened is Karula's made a kill, she's brought the cubs, and they've taken turns to feed. Sometimes she has made a kill, she's made 2 kills. We've seen that a few times within relatively close proximity of each other, like for example the Duiker and then the impala in the drainage line. Excuse me. Where Karula, they all stopped to feed on the impala first, and then they went and all fed on the Duiker together. So I doubt it, Jen, but I can't discount it. I can't discount it as a possibility. She's so close to quarantine. Can't believe it. She must have been here the whole time. Blinking laconically at us. And welcome to Lucy again. Thank you for sending through your question, Lucy, or sending through another question. Lucy, you want to know how strong family ties are in the animal kingdom. Sorry, let's just see what this little monkey's up to. It depends on the animal. Family ties between elephants, particularly female elephants, are unbelievably strong, as are the family ties between lionesses. So female lions are strong and actually life-lasting. They are lifelong ties. Leopards, on the other hand, once they leave each other, they pretty much can take or leave each other, so to speak. In fact, they often, even females with their daughters, will growl at them. She's going to pop out now. She's coming out. There she goes. Where are you going? Karula, your cub's giving you grey hairs. Another... Oh, she's after that tortoise. That poor tortoise. It thought it was making a lucky escape, but no such luck. Sharp-eyed Xongile has found it once again. What are you going to do with it, though? You silly thing. You can't do anything. I have a feeling if I go all the way around, she's going to lose interest and come all the way back here. And then I'm going to have to start again from scratch. So, Lucy, it depends very much on the animals. Some birds, for example, will mate for life. And some of them, their offspring will stick around for quite a few years to help them and to be raised by them. A jackal will live in family groups, so it is very much dependent on the different types of animals. A cheetah do things all by themselves. They're solitary animals for females, but for males they're in a group or a coalition, and that almost in fact invariably is a group of brothers, or perhaps, where'd she go? She left the tortoise. Yeah, you'll have to get up earlier than that to sneak up on your mom, madam. Your brother's one thing, but your mom is a totally different story. She knows you're there. Bounce. Yeah, you've been well and truly spotted. Even I heard your approach that time. Oh. But family bonds for now, Lucy, within leopards are a wonderful thing to see. Yay! Yay, Impala! Mom, I love you, but also I really love this impala that you got me. Thank you. Just imagine what a fantastic time those guests are having with these leopards. But yes, the bonds between a female leopard and her cubs are very, very strong. They have to be, because she has to leave them for days at a time and then come back and find them whenever she's caught them food. And they are, for the first few months of their lives, completely reliant upon her. Bonds between siblings are not as strong. Obviously, they make for useful play dates or play buddies while Mom is away, and to practice pouncing and chasing and stalking. But once the leopards do go their separate ways, then there's very little in the way of connection anymore. With some limited exceptions, of course. She's still watching you can see in Karula's face, she's still watching the impala. She's not committed to hunting them. She's just keeping an eye on where they are. In the meantime, Xongile, I don't think, has even noticed the impala. I mean, apart from the one that she has in her mouth. Now where are you taking it? Did you do that just to spite James because he moved? You can see her claws, or you could see her dew claw sticking out of its sheath there, gripping the impala. And that claw will be, probably of all of her claws, probably the most important of them. The dew claw, which is basically the animal equivalent of a thumb, or not the animal equivalent, the leopard equivalent of a thumb, or a lion equivalent of a thumb. Any animal with a paw that has a dew claw. That is their strongest claw and their biggest claw, and the muscle attachments are phenomenally powerful. And those are the claws that when a lion jumps onto the back of the buffalo, those are the claws that will grab onto it and hold it. Are you planning on eating your dinner anytime soon? Or is it just going to be play date until it cools down? Luckily, Karula has the perfect hoisting tree. I doubt Xongile could get it up there, but Karula certainly can. And so the impala birthing season, as joyful as it is for us to watch, is also a joyful time for the leopards and the wild dogs, particularly leopards and wild dogs, and cheetah. Go find your brother. Go fetch your brother and bring him back here. No? Okay. He's not far, by the way. When Brent found him on foot, he was probably about, I would say, 200 meters, 300. Let's call it 300 meters away from where we are now. So he's not too far away. Just bear with me a moment. I'm just going to have a sip of my lukewarm water. I'm pretty sure I could put a tea bag in this bottle of water and have a cup of tea if I wanted. Xongile back on the hunt once again. Speaking of lukewarm water, it seems as though Byron apparently, I'm not sure if he's drinking some or if he has arrived at some. Let's go and find out.
And I wondered just how warm this water is. We're at Twin Dams at the moment. I thought we'd maybe have some animals around here, but there's nothing. Seems to be the trend for me this afternoon. I'm not sure. Maybe the animals are a bit upset with me for some reason, and they decided to ignore me. There's a kingfisher. No, two woodland kingfishers just landed in that tree off to the side. That's always nice to see. A little bit lower, a little bit lower. There we go. Oh, wonderful. At least the birds still like me. I wonder if they've been bathing a little bit in the water, perhaps. Let's see if they do fly down. Oh, one just flew off completely. And there goes the other one. Well, nice to see the woodland kingfisher there. Kingfishers. Yo, it is boiling, everyone. I promise you, I can't tell you how hot it is. My shirt's sticking to my arm. I'm cooking here. Oh well. The joys of being in Africa. Africa's not for sissies, as they say. Africa's definitely not for sissies. Maybe they just don't make guides as tough as they used to. I don't know. Perhaps. Rebecca says that is definitely the answer, but maybe actually, Rebecca, you broke up a little bit there. I don't hear what you said. It's amazing driving past areas and you can remember lion sightings or something that you've seen around in a specific area, leopard sighting, perhaps elephant sighting. I remember it was not too long ago, about 2.5 weeks ago, right here we had two big male lions from the Birmingham Coalition, and they were lying right next to us roaring. I'm not sure if some of you viewers remember that. What an incredible sighting. Amazing to have two big male lions roaring so close to you. And it's nice to remember some of the sightings that you had as you're driving around. I know working in an area before this, working in an area, I remembered, sightings of leopards in trees and all sorts, and driving around, explaining and showing guests. It's nice to have those memories. Paul, you wanted to know what the female woodland kingfisher looks like. Almost exactly the same as the male. They're very, very, very little difference, if any. I'll just double check for you, but I don't think there's any sexual dimorphism between the male and female woodland kingfisher. Just make sure I don't drive off the road while I'm doing this. There we go. And yeah, there's no sign. There's adult. No, there's no difference, Paul. No difference at all between the male and female woodland kingfisher. It's just adults. They look almost identical. Oh, winter prism. Now you've asked an interesting question about the kingfishers and what qualifies a kingfisher to be a kingfisher, even if they don't eat fish. So I think it's obviously got to do with the flight pattern, beak structure, if you go into the finer details, foot structure, eyesight, all of that. And if you have a look, and I'll show you, they all look the same. And actually this might be better if I go here. There we go, here are the kingfishers. I'll have a look at that. So if you have a look, they also fall under let me just actually double check here, but look at that. And I'm also going to get my book out. It's a great question, and it's nice to have questions like that. It's high scene, or what is the word? Give me a second. I'll find that for you. I forgot. The word has evaded me now. There we go. Now, some of them have got a scientific name called halcyon, and I think those halcyon kingfishers are ones that have got blue in them, blue on the wings, like the grey-headed kingfisher. Where's that? The woodland kingfisher, the grey-headed kingfisher, the mangrove kingfisher, all have quite a lot of blue in them. That's a halcyon. Fall under halcyon kingfishers, I believe. Then the pygmy kingfisher, I mean, is the smallest around, but their beak shape and structure is all exactly the same. And I think that's one of the main factors that make them kingfishers and put them into the category of kingfishers. You also have Alcedo kingfisher, also another scientific name, and that's the half-collared and the malachite, slightly different. And I think these are the ones that do try and catch little fish in that. Frogs, insects, so they generally around water more. The halcyon ones, I think, are the ones that do also feed on a lot more insects. But it's mainly beak structure. Alright, so we're going to continue cooking in the heat, and while I do that, let's head back to Jamie, get an update from her.
Certainly it does feel as though we are cooking in the heat, and I think Karula's got the right idea. She's plonked herself on the fallen tree that Xongile tried to hoist that impala kill into earlier. Unfortunately, it is almost time for us to leave the royal family. We're going to be leaving in the next minute or so. We just wanted to grab you back over here just to say a quick farewell to them. Quickly, let's go across Xongile before she moves. Oh, no, she's there. Are you going to actually eat your food, Xongile? Yeah, so we will be doing a fireside chat this evening. I know that the Wild Earth crew or the Wild Earth Twitter page has put up an announcement about the fact that we will be having a special fireside chat on what is known as white mussel disease, which I can safely say Xongile does not have. She's absolutely alive and well, but we are going to have to start rushing across there to begin our setup. So we're going to have to say a fond farewell, to Xongile, who is still playing with her dinner and having a marvelous time doing it. I'm so reluctant to leave. I don't want to drag myself away, but we have to. Okay, we must go. So bye-bye to Xongile and bye-bye to Karula. Hopefully when we return here tomorrow morning, it will be to find the two of them in the area and the impala kill up in the top of the jackalberry tree. And we're going to be sending you over to Byron for the last few minutes of the sunset safari whilst we go and set up fireside chat, and we'll see you there.
Well, what a wonderful sighting of those leopards. I'm glad Jamie got to spend some time there with them and that you got to see them. It's always wonderful to be able to see leopards interacting like that and to see them with that kill. And as I said, it's all a learning curve for them. Just listen here for a second. Listen to all these cicadas. Very, very loud sound. I heard an interesting bird behind us. One that I haven't heard while I've been here. Trying to hear if it's going to call again. It's the oh dear, I've been a blank now. Give me a second, I'll tell you what the name is now. I'll explain the call to you. Sure, can you believe it? I've forgotten the name of that bird now. I think perhaps the heat has fried my brain a little bit. It's a somber green bull. That's what it is. Somber green bull. Thank goodness. Almost thought I was losing it there for a second. And it's got an interesting call, a wonderful call. I love hearing it. So it's described as, "Willie, when I come out to play, you're scared." But I promise you it does. It goes. That's exactly how the call sounds. Let's see if I can play it for you, and we'll see how close I am. Let's see. Let's see if I got close at all. So somber green bull, beautiful, very well. It's not something that you would expect to see. Very plain looking bird. If you have a look at that. So one of the little browner birds that we get to see. Look at that. Somber green bull. But let's listen to the call quickly. And it's, as I explained, I think I was pretty close. Let's see. There's more to the call. There we go, close enough. Do you hear that? Something like that. There we go, a somber green bull. And I just heard that, the first call we heard, just that. It's quite distinct, it's easy to identify. And I heard that calling behind us. Oh dear. At least the birds are still around for us. Because of this cloud cover now, it's become a lot darker, a lot earlier. So that's nice. Makes a change. Might have to get the spotlight out a lot earlier. But it's still, you know, I often speak about it. It's that awkward light now where it's not quite dark enough for a spotlight. Also not that light that we can see as well anymore. But it's fair, it's all right for now. We'll see what we can find. Try to see if we can't find a scorpion tonight again. Perhaps. Who knows? Sorry, just give me a second. This spotlight seems to be hooked on something here. Robbie wants to know, what is my least favorite bird call? Wow, that's a tough question, Robbie. I've never been asked that before. Okay, VM has one. Hadida. Yeah, Hadida makes a loud noise. Do you want to give us a Hadida call, VM? Yeah, pretty close. They do make a lot of noise, and it's a loud screech, or shrill. It's interesting sound, and yeah, it's not a particularly nice call. So I might lean towards that with you, VM. But I don't know. I don't mind bird calls. Any bird call is nice for me. Oh, just saw a flicker of lightning in the distance off to the left. I really hope it storms tonight. Cool everything down. That would be wonderful. I wonder if we can find a chameleon. That would also be first prize. Trying our best. Oh, and it says it's going to be 5 degrees cooler tomorrow, so that takes us to about 32 degrees as opposed to 37, which means very little. Have a look. I just want to see if you can see some lightning in the distance there. Let's just keep an eye out in that area for a second. Let's see. There we go. There was a little flash there. But there's some beautiful lightning bolts flickering every now and then. There we go. There was an... Oh, I think VM maybe a little bit out. There we go. Let's just have a look at from there. I think that should be good. Wow, there we go. That's a beautiful strike. You see that? So a lot of lightning in the distance. Yeah, I think that's the right area around there, VM. but it's still very, very far away. Hopefully it does head this way. That would be great. Let's see, come on, one more strike, one more beautiful strike for us. Just some flashes in the clouds at the back. Now, lightning photography is incredibly difficult. You need tripods and you need to set up the correct settings, and it's not easy at all. I do struggle with that at times. There we go, another one, and that's us. We're off. But nice to see lightning in the distance, but it is very far. I can hear the thunder kind of rolling in a little bit, but it's incredibly far. That's still, we don't have to worry about that for another few hours, that's for sure. Come on, let's see if we can find a scorpion. That's what I'm going to look for quickly for the next few minutes. It might not be dark enough just yet. Oh, Green Eyes, you've asked, do we get heat lightning in South Africa? Green Eyes, I must admit, and I did geography at school, I've never heard of heat lightning. If you can maybe explain to me what it is. I've never heard of that before. I've never heard of that term. And as far as I know, the lightning that we've seen is by friction in the air with the clouds, and the moisture building up, and the friction causes the lightning, the electricity, and then that's the lightning we get. I've never heard of anything known as heat lightning. That's interesting. So please do send it to us. Okay, so heat lightning is just the flashes of lightning occasionally in clouds, really high up, and you don't have the follow-up of thunder afterwards. Okay, so is that what that's called? Yeah, we do get that indeed. At times you do get flashes of lightning in the clouds, and there was some of that back there. And only those really big flashes that we got, those lightning strikes, those lightning bolts, only those I think are the ones that give us some what's the word, thunder. But there were some other flashes around, and that's most likely the heat lightning that you're referring to. There was no sound to them, and yes, we do get that out here, definitely. There's not always thunder around, or you don't always hear the thunder. Oh dear. So this, obviously the word thunder reminds you of a few songs. Mine would probably be Thunderstruck. Thunder, na 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 na. Rebecca says, thunder only happens when it's raining. Now I know some of you might be thinking I've got an incredible voice and I should probably sing rather than James, but James gets upset when I sing with him, so I won't do that. I'll leave the singing up to James. James actually hasn't played guitar or sung for us in a while, and I'm going to have a word for him, with him, because it was always nice to hear James, and I'm not going to tell him this obviously, but it's wonderful to get back and hear James strumming on his guitar and singing a song or two. I do think he is an incredible musician. I think he's amazingly talented. And I love his music. I love listening to him play, and there's nothing better. Some of my fondest memories when we still worked together was going into the Boma in the evening, and that's the area where people generally have dinner in some camps and lodges, sit outside around the fire, just a wonderful atmosphere, and then James would sit and play guitar for us and sing, and just absolutely incredible memories. Wonderful, wonderful time. Every now and then, a few of us that work together, there was a group of us, about 6 of us, 5 or 6 of us, and we do still try get together at times if James and I and the others are all in Johannesburg perhaps, or if we're out in the bush together, and we do a little bit of that, which is great fun. Share stories and laugh, reminisce. No chameleons, oh dear, or scorpions for that matter. Yeah, but it's too soon to panic. Come on, we need to find one. I can see the lightning in the corner of my eye. Thank you, Rebecca. You now have that song stuck in my head. I wonder if any of our viewers back home was singing along. Wow, now there's some serious lightning bolts going on in the distance. It's all a good sign. Hopefully some rain. Whoa, gee, those birds came flying past us. Alright, don't forget everyone, fireside chat this evening with Jamie and Brent. And you can send in and watch and send in your white muscle disease questions. I think they've been preparing that for the last few days and some segments on it. So you can enjoy with them and watch that. Wow, sure, that is serious lightning. It's becoming a lot more frequent and appears to be getting closer, slowly but surely, hopefully. Just have a look here for a second, just scan, and I can actually see the rain. It looks like, I want to know, have you ever seen the rain? Oh dear, I think the lack of animals and the heat has affected me. I do apologize, everyone. There you can see some of those flashes in the clouds at the top. But let's wait. There's going to be, I'm sure there's going to be 1 or 2 serious bolts of lightning fairly soon. Another flash. There we go. Wow. Yeah, that's definitely a lot closer. I love seeing the storms rolling in and the thunder and the lightning coming closer. It is one of my favorite things to watch out in nature, especially out in the bush. Yeah, you see that? That is beautiful. You might even hear some of the thunder. Rolling thunder. Wow, see that? That was incredible. Sure, but it's still very hot, very muggy. And sometimes, you know, we do have these storms which build up, and it threatens, and it looks like the rain's on its way, and it misses us. So, not sure if that's going to hit us tonight, but I do hope so. Oh, there's a tree over here. Looked like some sign of elephant, perhaps. Excuse me. Okay. Scorpion time. Come on. What have we got? Oh, I thought I had one. Not yet. Not yet. Not yet. So only a minute or two left before we cross over to Brent and Jamie for the fireside chat this evening. Would be nice to also spot a snake in the tree, perhaps. Anyway, from myself and VM on camera this afternoon, hope you've enjoyed the afternoon. Great to see the leopards. We unfortunately didn't have too much luck, but it was still nice being out here. Thank you very much, everyone. We're going to cross over to Jamie and Brent for the fireside chat. Have a wonderful evening and or day wherever you are. We'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye, everyone.